Today we're going to discuss the stated main idea. Now, what exactly is a stated main idea? Well, it is one complete sentence that represents the basic message the author wants the reader to understand about the topic. Briefly, it is what the author says about the topic. Now, what is the topic? To understand a stated main idea, it is the first thing you have to find, and that will be the who or whatever the author is talking about. In other words, a topic is a matter or a general subject dealt with within a paragraph or a text. The topic will be a noun phrase, or the pronoun repeated over and over in the passage. We're going to take a look at an example here. The children decided to make cookies on Christmas Eve as soon as their parents fell asleep. First, they got out their grandmother recipe book and assembled all the ingredients for making their family's favorite dessert. Next, the cook pulled out every bowl and cookie sheet in the kitchen and dirtied every single one of them with cookie dough. As they measured and mixed, dropped the precious chocolate chip mounds onto the sheet and licked the beaters. Then they put the cookies in the oven and set the timer. As soon as the timer went off, the delicacies were removed and a few samples eaten just to make sure they were suitable for their jolly visitor in the red suit who was due to arrive any minute. If you think cookies as a topic, you will be correct. The word cookies is restated several times in the text. The author also used phrases like favorite dessert, cookie dough, and chocolate chip mounds. Also, the word delicacies, which all refer to the same topic, that is, cookies. Now, let's look at another example. Flyer, the cat, loves to play with a stuffed animal, Mikey. While putting on a show for his human audience, he would dart after the toy, grab it, and try to pull its tail off. The cat would bat the toy up in the air, smack the little fake mouse with his paws, and viciously jumped on his prey. As soon as the toy squeaked, he would jump 3 feet in the air and run away, leaving his human fan club laughing. It was all part of his daily fun, because after dashing away, Flyer would charge right back on the scene, ready for more action. In this example, if you say flyer or the cat is the topic, you will be absolutely correct. The author mentioned flyer, the cat, and used the pronoun he to represent the topic. Now, after identifying the topic, how can we identify the stated main idea? Well, first of all, you need to look for a special listing phrase. Listing phrase is a phrase that looks like many ways, several examples, for reasons, or a number of factors that form a part of stated main idea. Now, in the next example, we're going to use the phrase many ways as a listing phrase and reading as a topic. There are many ways to improve your reading. First, you must understand new words as you encounter them. So, writing them in a journal, looking up their meaning, and using them in a paragraph are all very good strategies for learning those new words. Next, you must practice reading every day to keep up your skill. Furthermore, you should underline the important points as you uncover them so you can check your understanding of the reading material. Finally, you should use the highlighted material to make a summary of what you have read so you can analyze the contents and understand the concepts that have been presented to you. So in the tag, the topic is actually reading, and the listing phrase here is many ways. In the sentence, there are many ways to improve your reading. So we know basically that this first sentence is your main idea. The stated main idea will always contain your topic. The main idea is the basic message or concept that the author wants you to understand about the topic. In this case, the author wants you to know that there are many ways to improve your reading. Many ways is used as a listing phrase because after the phrase many ways, you will expect to find listing words like first, next, furthermore, and finally to show that an author is listing the ways in which you can improve your reading. Right now, you're probably wondering what other clue or strategy that you can use to identify the main idea of a paragraph, because certainly, not all paragraphs contain listing words or phrases. Now, another strategy that you can use to identify the main idea of a passage is by looking for the signal words that show contrast at the beginning of a sentence. For example, but, however, in contrast, and in spite of. Let's take a look at an example here. I was happily relaxing during my break, reading books, making favorite recipes, and enjoying the company of good friends. The days went on with not a care in sight. No schedules, no meeting, no work, no email, just good times. However, one day, the trend of the holiday spirit was broken. I had made that terrible mistake of looking at my email, and I realized that I wasn't ready for next year at the office because I had forgotten that I had some outstanding work that I would have to complete. I was afraid that I would never enjoy that cheery holiday feeling again since I can't stand to have deadlines and responsibilities hanging over my head during my holiday breaks. I decided to throw myself into the task and still have some downtime to look forward to. Although it took a great deal of effort to force myself to finish the work, I completed it, and then finally I heaved a sigh of relief as I headed into yet another full week of my precious Christmas break. First, let's take a look if we can identify the topic. We're going to look for repeated words or phrase. If you say the holiday spirit or holiday break or Christmas break, that will be a very good choice for the topic because the phrase is repeated several times in the passage. Now, have we found any special listing words? I can't see any of those, but let's look for another kind of words. What about however, but, in contrast, or something like that in nature? In sentence 3, we have however. However, one day the trance of the holiday spirit was broken. You are looking right there at your stated main idea, and I'm just going to highlight it. Let's keep on going. What if you can find a listing or a contrast word? In that case, you have to look for something that is overarching or very general idea. Think about the structure of the paragraph. It contains a topic and main idea and supporting details. Learn to identify or differentiate specific information from the general one. And now we're going to look at an example using the paragraph that we have used at the beginning of this video. The children decided to make cookies on Christmas Eve as soon as their parents fell asleep. First, they got out their grandmother's recipe book and assembled all the ingredients for making their family's favorite dessert. Next, the cooks pull out every bowl and cookie sheet in the kitchen and dirty every single one of them with cookie dough as they measured and mixed, dropped the precious chocolate chip mounds onto the sheet and licked the bitters. Then they put the cookies in the oven and set the timer. As soon as the timer went off, the delicacies were removed and a few samples eaten just to make sure they were suitable for their jolly visitor in the red suit who was due to arrive any minute. Now let us look for any special listing phrases like reasons, for example, or several. Can you find any of those? I can't. Well, let's look at our next strategy. How about looking for a special contrast word like however, but, or in spite of? Nope, can't find any of those either. So what do we do now? Well, we look for a sentence that states in general or is an overarching big picture idea. Now, how do we do that? If something is general, then the other sentences will be more specific. So let's look at the sentences again to answer these questions. If we analyze these, we will see that the first sentence is actually more general because it talks about children making cookies on Christmas Eve. And then starting with sentence 2, we see that next sentence is are actually more specific because they're giving you specific supporting details about the steps the children took to make their cookies from their grandmother recipe, and then they pull out the bowls and they get on with making the cookies, put them in the oven, and so forth. Okay, each of these supporting details actually has a special signal words to show you that you have another supporting detail coming up. So you can see that they are separated from the main idea. So basically, if you consider that sentences starting with the first, next, then, and as timer went off, these are more specific details about the main idea. So what are we left with? Well, we're left with the very first sentence, which is more general or overarching, and this would be the stated main idea. Alright, I guess that's all for now. Thank you and see you.